What's up, everybody? Alex Walter with Riverbend Outfitters here, and today's video is going to be a little more on the informational side. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to go over the 5 things that I'm doing to get ready for first ice. We've got some really cold weather on the horizon. I plan on being on the ice within the next week and a half, which kind of didn't give me a lot of time to get ready. I've been caught up deer hunting, duck hunting, doing some open water fishing, but I really wanted to make this video just because this is what I'm doing to get myself and my clients ready for a successful season on the ice. So stay tuned and see if any of these tips help you. So one of the very first things that I like to do is dig out all my stuff, inventory it, kind of figure out what I lost last year, which was a lot. Kind of organize the tackle, figure out anything that needs to be replaced. Things happen over the winter or over the summer that, hooks rust, moisture gets in, things like that. So what I'm doing is looking at what I need to get. So what I'm doing is I'm going through all my jigs, all my hooks, all my terminal tackle, looking at my rods. Did I break any rods? Do any of my reels need to be replaced, or do they need to be repaired? So the first thing I like to do is set out all my stuff and kind of organize it by color, by type, tungsten jigs, spoons, terminal tackle, like hooks for the tip downs. I like to set up the tip downs, replace any parts that those need, and just get an idea where my base point is for what I need to do. So it's going to involve probably a trip to a couple tackle shops. My favorites are Island Outdoors, Schaefer's, River Rentals, Emma's Bait and Tackle here in town. I go through all those, kind of see what's out there, what I need to replace, and then always, of course, end up buying some of the new stuff that comes out. So it makes for a fun weekend project while the water's still soft, and gives you an idea where you need to be to get ready. So when you get out there, you're not missing anything. The next thing I do every single year, and I'll probably do it once or twice a season as well, is respool all my rods and tip downs and tip ups. So the number one failure is old line in any kind of ice fishing scenario. So you're already using pretty light line, 2 pound, 3 pound, 4 pound test. And when that ages or gets a little bit of wear, it turns into the most brittle thing you've ever seen. So the first thing I always do is strip all the old line off of all my rods, respool them all with fresh line. I typically use 3 pound on my jig rods, and then 4 pound on my tip downs, and then I use a finicky fooler, so I actually use some heavy braid with some bigger rods for the pike. But I'm just getting new line on them. It takes a half hour of your time, gives you peace of mind when you get out there. You know that your line is not going to fail because of age. That's by far and away the biggest thing I see is old line failing. So take the time, take the $15 it costs to buy some ice line, and just respool all your stuff. It pays dividends. Bigger fish on the ice. Don't have to be heartbroken when that 14-inch perch breaks off at the hole, and you'll have more success because of it. The next thing I'm doing is charging all of my batteries. So nowadays, our augers are lithiums, so I'm making sure I don't need to replace any batteries there. I'm charging them all up, giving them a good test, charging my electronics. So I use lithium batteries in several of my units, my live scope unit and my Helix 10 that I use for a flasher, as well as, and then I use a lead acid in my old Markham VX1 Pro traditional flasher. But I'm just making sure that those all take a charge. They're all good. I'm firing them all up, kind of getting the Helix into ice mode, checking to make sure my waypoints are all still there, and just dialing in my settings on the live scope to make sure that, because I actually share a unit from my boat with my ice unit, so I just move it over. Settings are quite a bit different for ice, so I change the palette color, all that good stuff, update it if it needs it, and just make sure everything's running good, so when you get out there, you don't fire it up and it dies on you in the first half hour or something like that. And just, this is the number one thing that's going to help you catch more fish is your electronics. So you want to make sure that they're working good, and you're not, drilling 2 holes and your auger battery's dead, your flasher goes dead, your live scope goes dead after a few hours right when you get out there, because it'll kill your excitement pretty fast when you can't see them down there. I know that personally, I've become addicted to the electronics, so it's just one of those things that I can't fish without. So I got to make sure everything's in tip-top shape. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and replace my auger blades. I don't care if they're still sharp. I'll save those as a spare in case something happens. But what I always want on the ice every year is fresh blades to start the year. And as much as I ice fish and as many holes as I punch, I generally have to replace them about once a year after the original replacement. So I'm probably putting on fresh ones to begin about mid-season, say January 15th to the end of January, somewhere in there. I'm going to replace them again. It's kind of costly. Auger blades are not cheap. You can sharpen them. I don't mess with it. I just buy fresh ones, slap those babies on, and that way I'm zipping through holes. This does a few things. It's a lot less stress on your auger and your battery. So you're going to get, with fresh batteries or fresh blades, you're going to have a lot better battery life. I'm not out there, you know, forcing holes to drill because I'm going to chase these perch down and I'm going to be probably drilling 40, 50 holes a day. So it's important that I have sharp auger blades, and I suggest that you do as well. The final thing that I like to do is get out in the boat and scout. You know, the nice thing about getting out there early is you kind of can get ahead of the curve a little bit. So finding first ice spots is generally pretty easy if you go out prior. So you're looking for grass, what's left of the grass, because you know in the fall it all kind of dies off, but there is remnants of green grass, and that's where your perch and your panfish are going to probably pile up, is around that grass. So what I like to do is go out and kind of mark the areas. I get an area that I know, but I figure out how the grass is laying this year because it changes from year to year. Additionally, I'm doing some fishing. Might as well make it a fun day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out, test a few spots, do a little fishing, catch some fish, and just get ready for the ice. Because these fish are going to be basically where they're at now here in November is where they're going to be, you know, come lock up early December. So you're going to get a lot of valuable information by getting out in the boat and just idling around, doing some graphing, figuring out where the grass is, where the structure is, where these bigger schools of fish are holed up. You know, bluegills, crappies, you'll see them suspended throughout the water column, and that really helps you kind of get an idea of where to target when the ice freezes. So there you have it. There's the 5 main things that I'm doing to get ready for first ice. So we're getting ready here. Like I said, it's a week and a half away. It crept up on me. I was kind of sidetracked, but we are going to be on ice. The next video will be first ice somewhere. So this is going to be kind of a little series called the First Ice Series. And we're going to go through not only this, but we're going to go through some first ice fishing, ice safety, that type of thing, what I'm looking for early ice. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope some of this helped you. It's kind of, some of it's no-brainer. Some of it maybe you didn't think about, or maybe you don't put enough emphasis on it. But I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. That helps me immensely. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll talk soon, and I promise the next time you see this face, we'll be on the ice.